Employers Connect session titled Empowering Individuals' Growth and Transformation. Please let us know which country you are from in the chat. We'd love to know where our delegates are joining us from. I think we've probably got a really good international group of people dialing in from all over the world. So please just pop it in the chat and let us know where you are joining us from. Dwayne and I are coming to you live from beautiful Singapore. And in today's business landscape, where remote teams and contributors span across geographies and different time zones, the ability to access learning from anywhere at any time has become absolutely indispensable. And today we will learn how 2023 global top employer Tata Consultancy Services successfully achieved this with their best-in-class L&D strategy and the practices that they have in place to drive the ultimate employee experience. You're welcome to send us your questions at any time in the comment section. In fact, we highly encourage this to make it a more interactive session, and we will be sending a recording of the session to all attending delegates when it becomes available. If at any point you need assistance with the technical aspects of the webinar, please type in the chat, and we do have moderators on standby who are more than willing to assist you. So the Top Employers Institute is the global HR authority on certifying excellence in HR strategies and practices. And for over 33 years, our firm has been dedicated to creating a better world of work. We are globally headquartered in the Netherlands, Amsterdam, and while our APAC regional HQ is in Singapore, as I mentioned previously. And our organization's unique selling proposition in the global employer of choice ecosystem is that we are the only firm in the world that certifies organizations as top employers based on HR practices as opposed to internal or external opinion-based survey data. And our internationally recognized top employer certification helps organizations strengthen their employer brand, supporting their talent attraction, engagement, and retention objectives. And furthermore, we provide strategic benchmarking data back to our clients, helping them improve their HR strategy practices and, more importantly, the overall employee experience. We also happen to use one globally aligned research methodology throughout the world, and we can recognize companies in single countries, in a region, or even on a global scale, like Tata Consultancy Services. And in 2023, our firm certified 2,053 top employers in 121 countries, covering every single region in the world. And these organizations are positively making an impact to the lives of over 9.5 million employees globally with the excellent HR environment that they have put in place. And this is a key metric that we use to measure how our program and the top employers that we certify around the world are positively impacting the world of work. So bringing it closer to Asia Pacific, these are the 321 companies that we certified as top employers for 2023, and that spans 22 different Asian countries. And we are very proud of the brand equity that you see on screen, and these are companies that have all been recognized for having world-class talent management practices, and we're very proud of our association with each one of these companies who will get to carry our certification for the upcoming year. And there are also 22 organizations that have achieved our regional Asia Pacific certification for 2023. And in order to achieve the blue seal that you see on screen, you must be certified in a minimum of 5 countries in Asia. And then not only will you get to carry your red country certification, but you'll also get to carry the blue regional seal that you see on screen. And it's very important for these multinational companies to have a similar and consistent employer branding message to talent. Hence the reason why they want all of their APAC markets to carry the same type of HR certification. And not only is Tata Consultancy Services a 2023 top employer in Asia, but they also happen to be one of our exclusive global top employers, having achieved certification in 4 regions and a hugely impressive 32 countries around the world. And that is simply a remarkable achievement, to say the least. So, bringing it closer to our topic today, when it comes to learning, many top employers globally offer a wide range of resources that enable the development of competencies and skills. However, advanced organizations do so by using digital and personal resources to further reinforce the successful delivery of this. And recent research done by Forbes this year found that 93% of organizations agree that a personalized learning experience supports employees to achieve their professional goals more efficiently, and that employees are more engaged when receiving a just-for-me learning experience as opposed to a one-size-fits-all. And the Harvard Business Review definitely echoes this need for personalized content and the need to adapt training based on the employee's performance, learning style, and their own unique set of needs. Bringing it closer to our research at the Top Employers Institute, we've seen a significant increase in how organizations are personalizing their learning experiences. And among the 2,053 companies that we certified globally, 89% capture employees' individual career aspirations and offer a personalized learning portal, which is actually a 2% increase up from 2022. 79% of our top employers include micro learning into everyday activities, a 4% increase in comparison to last year, while 72% offer on-demand leadership development modules. Some other emerging practices that we have identified recently is that 61% of our top employers globally offer personal resources such as mentoring and coaching to support career development, while 77% offer general workshops and training for career growth, and 43% have career counselors who are on standby to support individuals with their career development aspirations. So, practices that foster the personalization of learning can include things like an interactive career portal, easily accessible on-demand learning content, the integration of micro-learning into everyday activities, and using artificial intelligence to prompt and suggest employee learning opportunities for career growth. However, it is important that organizations do not only rely on the growing availability of a highly digitalized employee experience. Self-managed resources need to be complemented by in-person support through a culture of coaching and by having ongoing career development discussions as part of the performance management process. So, Tata Consultancy Services is a long-standing client of the Top Employers Institute, and we are very proud of how this great organization transformed their learning approach by focusing on the 5 A's of learning, which is to enable anyone to learn anytime, anywhere, using any content or any device. And to learn more about this world-class learning ecosystem, it is indeed my privilege to introduce our main presenter for today, Ms. Duen Hui, who has over 20 years of HR experience in regional leadership, business partnering, HR operations, recruitment, and employee and industrial relations. And she currently leads HR for TCS Singapore and South Korea. And in this very important role, Duen is responsible for providing quality HR service, including talent acquisition, development, engagement, and management, as well as developing and promoting HR initiatives that are very much aligned to the organization's business goals. So with that being said, a very warm welcome, Duen, and we look forward to listening to your insights regarding TCS's revolutionary approach to learning. Great to have you here.
Thank you so much. Yep, thank you, Billy. Thank you for giving such a great introduction of myself. So good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining me in today's sessions. And before I move on to the topic, maybe let me start by giving you an overview of TCS. TCS is a global IT services consulting and business solution leaders. We have been in the business in partnering with the world's largest organization for more than 50 years now, transforming their businesses. We offer consulting-led, cognitive power, integrated portfolio of businesses, technology, engineering services, and solutions. This is delivered through our unique location-independent agile deliver model that is recognized as a benchmark of excellence in software development. The Tata Group has thrived for more than 150 years following the visions of our founder, Jamsetji Tata. In a free enterprise, the community is not just another stakeholder in business, but is in fact the very purpose of its existence. Our TCS commitment anchored on 4 key pillars. In it for good. We take a long-term view on things, building relationships that endure. And we also believe in, partnering for mutual group and sustainable outcomes. Bring everything. When you are out to change the world, you want a partner that is able to combine every resources for you with an utter determination to help you succeed. Know-how. With TCS, you ensure certainties. We are a knowledge network that has the best and smartest minds and practitioners that is able to apply concepts to context with real outcomes. Master the journey. We offer agility and continuity for you to navigate a world that is ever changing. TCS is part of the Tata Group of companies that is the largest multinational group in India itself. TCS has more than 614,000 employees globally, and out of that, more than 500,000 of them are digitally trained. So our consolidated revenue as at 31st March 2022 is at USD $25.5 billion, and we are publicly listed in India. Thank you, Sadiq. So I'm sure now we actually move on to the topic itself. I'm sure this is a dilemma that is actually faced by many of you if you decide to actually invest in your employees. So for TCS itself, our core values is learning and sharing. Unlike many organizations where there is tangible products, our employees is our real assets. The capabilities of our employee is what will transform our customers' business. To us, our talent development focuses on three themes. Learning is a career enabler for our employees. Learning is a growth enabler for TCS. Innovation is at the heart of learning. Thank you. So before I even move into diving into digital technology and in terms of what we are offering from a talent development digital ecosystem, I think it's important for us to take a step back to share with you how we actually inculcate a culture of learning. Because even we have a full suite of learning that is available to employees, it just doesn't make sense, or it just doesn't, it will not sustain if our employees do not want to learn or have the hunger to learn. So I'll start off with, why is it essential to keep learning? As you are aware, with COVID, it has accelerated the adoptions of digital technology. So with that, many organizations are actually moving up to the digital technology value chain. So it's no longer options for organizations to continue to not learn in digital technology. So basically, it becomes not a choice. So with that, the digital work has also evolved with the emergence of Talent Cloud. In the past, we only have in-country work and also in-office works. With the emergence of technology, now an in-country person can actually open up opportunities to actually work globally as well, and vice versa. From an organization perspective, we can also source for opportunities through talent itself via the cloud platform. So this means that from an organization perspective, in order for you to retain your employee, you need to continue to aspire them to grow within the organization and satiate them with terms of their learning for them to continue to grow and want to grow within TCS itself. And from an employee's perspective, if you want to continue to stay relevant and be relevant in an organization, you need to continue to keep learning. So what happens is that learning has also evolved from a training provider to actually building a learning culture within TCS itself. It is no longer just a push on learning to our employees. We need to continue to entice our employees, to pull our employees to want to learn. So how do we do it the TCS way? First of all, we focus on 4 Ps. People will always be at the core of whatever we do. Under purpose, we build our organizations from the ground up. So what we do is the focus has always been to hire fresh graduates from the campus itself and train them organically from the onset itself. And for people itself, we democratize our talents, where our intent is to let our employees have the ability to take charge of their career and their work opportunities as well. Besides democratization of talents, we also democratize skills, where employees who do not have the skill sets to join our organization but have the passion to join our organizations, they are also being considered and given the opportunities as well. For example, in Singapore itself, we have been partnering our government, Infocom Media Development Authority of Singapore's, to train fresh graduates from universities and polytechnics, or even mid-career switch professionals who do not have IT skills to join TCS, and we actually put them through a very in-demand skills training for about 6 months for them to learn and then for them to gain an opportunity with us in TCS itself. And out of that, more than 80% of them whom we hire into TCS does not have any IT skills. On top of that, we continue to build a culture of continuous learning by creating an innovative and seamless learning ecosystem that is also inclusive and democratic, and that is made available for all different experience level. And we measure our employees through meritocracies. So how does TCS way translate into a purpose-led training development? We focus on 5 pillars. We link our learnings with careers and rewards. And we have actually created a platform called Elevate, which I'll share with you later in terms of how we actually create a tighter learning between learnings and rewards for our employees, so they want to take charge of their career themselves. So, as I mentioned earlier, we have already moved from being a training provider to be a business partner for our business itself. We actually enable our people to enable our customers and our business to actually help them to fuel business growth. On top of that, we are continuously out to scout out for more external training partners that is able to value add to the overall learning contents of TCS, that's able to satiate the learning of our employees and want to continue to learn. Last but not least, we are always provisioning new contents so that, and in a speedy manner with the fastest in technology, how it's evolved, right? We need to move fast enough so that we build hunger and agility for our employees, not just to learn, but also for them to unlearn as well. Lastly, we actually nurture our employees to growth, to inculcate them with growth and transformation mindset in a sustainable manner. The most important criteria where the 5 pillars is able to even materialize is that within TCS itself, learning and sharing is uplifted by our top management. This is the single one reason where learning is able to be made widespread within TCS itself. I've actually mentioned about how why is it essential to learn and what is the TCA way and how it actually translates into learning itself. Let me now dive deeper into our talent development digital ecosystem. If you look at this, the whole talent digital development digital ecosystem is actually anchored in 2 pillars. Our HR actually works very closely with our resourcing team to actually, discuss about employees that they are able to upskill first before we actually open up the opportunity to external. As I mentioned earlier, we always look at giving the first right of choice to our employees internally and actually train them organically up within the organization itself. One HR focus on engaging, retaining, and also developing our employees across across more than 18,000 sorry about that. One HR focus on engaging, developing our employees globally. We have been present in more than 46 countries itself. And our TT team also work very closely with our business itself to actually work closely with our business itself to actually, mirror how the business works so that we can move in tandem with our business. So if we were to look at this, right, it is a one HR ecosystem in terms of how we work within TCS itself. It is not about just TD in silo. The whole TD structure is also designed in such a manner that it mimics the structure of the business so that we can actually work in tandem with the business itself as well. So beside that, our data office has also transitioned into a very innovative and AI MI centric functions. They are able to give us a lot of good analytics for our TD to actually make data informed decisions to actually drive great initiatives within TCS itself. Now I'll dive deeper into the TCS digital ecosystem. iEvolve is our learning and competency management system itself. If you look at that, right, beside the self-paced learning, there are various diverse learning formats within iEvolve itself. We also encourage virtual IQ class where our employees is able to join with other employees overseas and learn sharing together in a live manner in a synchronized fashions. And we also do game-based learning where we also have hackathons where we encourage a lot of learning in a practical manner, and it's not just a theoretical learning. The reason being is because that we want our employees to be able to experience learning not from a theoretical manner itself, but also from a practical basis as well. On top of that, we also have different platforms of learning as well within TCS itself. We are actually supported by more than 45 partner ecosystems. This is to ensure that our learning contents are actually being enhanced by external partners. On top of that, we encourage our employees to learn from both technology and also soft skills as well. There are different proficient levels that our employees is able to learn from as well. This is to encourage and inspire them to actually progress within the proficiency level. And with that proficiency levels itself, right, this will also cater to different experience level as well. So on top of that, TCS also has this T factor. This is unique to us. So T factors, how does this T factor work is that we encourage our employees not to just develop in the breadth, but also the depth. So what we want our employee to also create, to actually learn in multiple digital technology skills, and also an expert in one or few. So the T factor was even introduced COVID happened sometime in 2027 because we foresee as an organization that digital technology is going to be very much sought after in the future as well. TCS always able to look ahead of the curve so that we are able to sort of, train our employees in the kind of skill sets that they are able to learn. So when the times reach, our employees are already fully trained to be able to pick up the skill sets and able to apply in real context to the business itself and support our customers to actually help transform their business. So iEvolve is a one-stop shop. All employees need to do is actually to dial into iEvolve, and what they need to do is any training or any certifications that they are taking internally or externally itself, right? They will be able to have their records tracked and recorded within iEvolve itself as well. So I think just now Billy talks about the 5 A's of learning. The 5 A's alone, thanks Billy for sharing that also. And basically the 5 A's of learning, the whole digital ecosystem actually enables the 5 A's of learning because as I mentioned, that it's able to connect you to different places, whether it's internally or through the external platform, right? It's really about anyone to learn anytime, anywhere, using any content delivered in any device. So just now I mentioned about our iEvolve systems. I would also like to draw your attention to Fresco Play. Fresco Play is actually our TCS created Fresco Play apps where you actually can download in any of your mobile device, whether you're holding an iPhone or Android phone. It's actually micro learning. And because it's a micro learning, we have actually sort of create the content in an experience where we make it very exploratory and immersive. I mean, you will want to learn when you are drinking coffee in any of the cafe, or you're taking a train, or you're stuck in a jam, or you're waiting for a boyfriend or girlfriend that is late as well. So anytime you can log in. But the content is curated in a way that you are able to learn a new technology quickly on the go and with one stop in. On top of that, we also do tea talks where we actually invite our own experienced employees to share about a latest technology trends, where this will give our employees a flavor of what is coming ahead in the future. And we actually cross-learn from one another within the whole TCS network. So we also have trends point of view where we also invite our customers or experts to share about the latest technology as well in terms and also some discussion in terms of how the point of view where, you know, how they're able to learn from it. With that, how to make 5As additive? We put design ahead of technology. First, by removing friction in terms of learning, as I mentioned, when we were talking about Fresco Play itself, we actually make the content a lot more interactive and exploratory and immersive, right? So employee want to learn. And by doing that, we also add persuasion in the learning as well. So it becomes just enough, just in time, and actually just for me learning, because this is really as when I want to learn, and anytime, anywhere that I can actually pick it up and actually learn. All right, I have practically talked a lot about theory, but let me maybe share with you in terms of how an employee can actually key in their aspirations to actualization within TCS itself. This is actually done through our Accelerate platform. It's actually our career guidance management platform. So how it works is that an employee can actually log into Accelerate platform. They can actually key in their aspired roles, the technologies that they wanted to be, and roughly a time frame where they want to move in, versus the skill sets that they currently have and all those things that is already been registered within the iEvolve and all those things. So what Accelerate will do is that they will then populate and create a learning path that is just for you against the current skill sets that you have to your aspired role. So this is actually personalized in a way that you know what it takes for you to move on from your current role itself to a role that you aspire to be. And we have actually made the Accelerate platform in a very interactive manner, is that beside the training part of it, we also invite our employees to actually be involved in the 360-degree feedback, where you can actually do initiate one to actually hear from a colleagues or even your bosses about some comments about yourself, so that you are also being trained holistically in your soft skill and also in your actual learning environment. You can also be engaged as a mentor itself if you are a manager and above, or you can also choose the mentors within the list of the mentors that is actually being registered in Accelerate itself. So on top of that, within Accelerate itself, you can also have information about career insight, such as who are the ones, what are the career learning path for employees who is actually currently working in your aspired career roles. You can also have a track in terms of your competency gaps and also your engagement index as well. So from Accelerate itself, you will actually move into TCS Elevate. TCS Elevate is actually our talent framework that is actually created in 3 pillars. Later, I'll share with you a bit more in terms of the 3 pillars itself. What makes TCS Elevate Wings 1, 2, and 3 unique versus currently what's actually offered is that for TCS Elevate Wings itself, we work very closely with our business leaders for the last couple of years to actually understand what is the aspirations of our employees. That's one. Second would be what are the kind of roles that is able to meet the demands of the markets. And that's how the learning path is actually being curated itself. Under TCS Elevate itself, right, there are 3 paths: junior talent, mid-level talent, and emerging leader and senior leadership path. So for the whole TCS Elevate itself, any employees can actually log in into Accelerate, key in their aspirations, and there will be a personalized learning path that will link them directly to TCS Elevate. We make this process very democratic so that it is a free for all buffet for employees to want to learn. As long as they have the aspiration to learn, they can actually be part of TCS Elevate. So for junior level itself, what we have done is that we take a prescriptive learning. Why? Because at this level itself, we believe that it's very important that they build their foundation and they build their fundamentals strong. So what does this mean? I'm currently in HR and my starting base is in HR. If I adopted TCS Elevate Wings 1, I will only be able to grow within my HR vertical. Okay, so we want you to build yourself in your current role first before you think about moving on to a different role. That is TCS Elevate Wings 1. For TCS Elevate Wings 2, we have taken a subscription-based learning. So let me give you another example. Currently, I am a solution software developer. I want to move on to a solutions architect. So what are the kind of learnings that I need to take? So there are many types of learning paths, but there are some that you can actually choose to take where interest you. And there are also some mandated learnings where you need to take so as to ensure that you are able to move on to a solutions architect role. So on top of that, right, we have also have TCS Elevate Wings 3. So for this itself, right, we believe that our senior leaders at this point itself already has the technical skill sets to be able to do their job. So what we focusing on for TCS Elevate Wings 3 is that we will actually groom our leaders and actually teach them in growth and transformation skill sets. For this, we actually work with Ivy League universities INSEAD to work with us on the program design itself. And this is also taking into consideration the needs of TCS, and the program DNA is actually anchored by the visions of our C-suites. So what the leaders will actually go through is that by learning the growth and transformation mindsets, they will need to pick a live project to actually work on and present their proposals to the external experts, and they will be graded. So in that way, we will ensure that there is no bias grading in terms of the whole system itself when they're being graded itself. So on top of that, right, where at any junction where employees has crosses a certain milestones, they will be rewarded. Or once employees have actually, graduated from the Elevate Wings itself, right, they will also be offered an opportunities to actually take on the role that they aspire as well. So with that, this is the last that I'm going to share. Thank you so much. Billy, I'll hand over to you.
Thank you, Dwayne. That was a fantastic presentation, really insightful, and there was a lot to love about what you shared with us. Let's take some questions and see what comments have come in. I'm sure the audience is really keen to tap into your thinking a bit more. The first question is, with the ICT landscape moving into post-COVID, how have you seen these events in the last few years changed or impacted learning and development in your organization?
Okay, just now I mentioned about why is it essential to keep learning, right? I think not so much for TCS perspective, as I mentioned earlier, that we are already adopting digital platforms in terms of learning for our employees, right? But what it has, I mean, maybe from a TCS perspective itself, it has actually helped us to accelerate the adoption of digital technology. So I think for us, it has actually digitally impacted us. But I think for many organizations, right, it is no longer a choice where they want to or not to adopt digital technology. It is a must in order to stay relevant. Just now, I also mentioned about, many organizations are now scrambling to move on the value chain for digital technology because they need to stay relevant to survive. And I think this is one of the great things. And the other thing I also mentioned about in terms of how the whole work environment has also evolved as well. Last time we talked about in-office working. Now it's hybrid working. Now it's about digital nomad. And I was just Googling that day and I was just found out that more than 50 over countries are actually offering digital nomad visas for people to actually work in their countries as well. And of course, I think the whole talent crowd has also evolved as well. No longer it's just about in-country working. It's about in-country supporting an opportunity that is actually in maybe anywhere globally in the world. So the whole world is now your oyster, right? In the past, where you feel that it's impossible, it's already now made possible with digital technology.
Yeah, agreed. Thank you. Great insights. Next question. As a learning organization, how have you been able to tie business outcomes to the importance of learning and development?
Thank you so much. Thanks. So what happens is that, right, our talent development design, or maybe the whole organization, HR organization structure, is designed in such a manner that we mirror the structure of the business as well. The reason is because we need to move in tandem with the business as well to actually enable our people, to enable our business to actually help to fuel business growth. So it's really, really very important that we actually first, from a structure perspective, we actually design our structure in such a manner that is in tandem with the business and mirror with the business. Second is really working very closely from the business itself to understand what is their business goals, what is their demands, and also hearing from the business itself in terms of what is then their needs and their wants, so that actually we can actually customize a set of learning that is able to meet the customer's needs and also the business needs as well to actually meet their demands.
Fantastic. Cool. Another question. What are some of the things you've done that have positively impacted how your organization looks at the importance of L&D?
So I think I'm blessed that, in the start of COVID, what we have done is that because the government was actually pretty worried about, fresh graduates not able to find a job after they graduated. So actually, we have actually partnered with our Economics Development Board to launch a digital acceleration center in Singapore itself. I was actually at the helm of driving that. So the Digital Acceleration Center itself, there are a few purposes for the Digital Acceleration Center. The first purpose is that we want to help and support organizations to get out of COVID and also to support them to be future ready. Second is that through the partnership with the government, we have actually hired 100 trainees who are both degree and diploma graduates into TCS and train them in in-demand IT skills. So, and finally, what we did is that after they have graduated, we have hired all 100 into TCS itself.
Fantastic. Brilliant.
And on top of that, I've actually joined TCS maybe in 27, and we were actually in the start of discussing with Infocom Media Development Authority of Singapore to also hire fresh degree graduates into TCS itself to actually train in demand IT skills. So we have been partnering IMDA for more than 5 years now, and I was being blessed to be able at the chance to be given the opportunity to from the onset to be part of the partnership as well. Starting from a graduate hiring, we have moved on to diploma hiring as well, and we have also hired mid-career switch professionals into TCS as well. And none of them, and actually more than 80% of them, does not have any IT skills, but we are able to put them through a 6-month training where now they are themselves are in the IT industry.
Wow. And Dwayne, can you maybe just share a couple of examples of some of the key metrics or KPIs that TCS has put in place to measure the success of this learning ecosystem?
So I think first of all, it's really about the learning hours. That's one. Second is about the attrition rate of our employees, and also third is really the fulfillment of roles through the graduation from this Elevate programs itself. So the intent is that through the whole Elevate Wins program, the intent is that we want our employees to be scaled up in a way that they are able to go to the Aspire role, and from the Aspire role itself, right, they will be able to deploy to the Aspire role that they wanted to. And over the 3 years where Elevate is actually being rolled out, right, we have a success rate of about 25%. That is about 170,000 employees has been placed through Elevate programs to our projects to meet their demands.
Fantastic. Absolutely incredible statistics. Thank you for sharing. I guess the next question, I mean, this is already such a world-class learning ecosystem that you've put in place. What's next? Maybe you can give us a little bit of a sneak peek in terms of what TCS is currently working on.
So I think what's next, I think just now I mentioned about the purpose-led talent development. Continuously, we will continue be focusing on the 5 pillars as well, and pushing our boundaries in terms of the 5 pillars, be it, creating a much better ecosystems and, onboarding more external partners as well. And also thinking of creative ways in terms of how we can actually continue to sort of, enable our people in a creative manner to actually enable our people to enable to our business to actually fuel more business growth for our business as well. And I think these are the things that we will continue be pushing our boundaries in terms of the 5 pillars when we talk about the purpose-led talent development.
Super. And I think we all greatly, respect and admire the benchmark that TCS has set as a truly learning organization. Dwayne, I think we've answered all 5 questions. Well, should I say you've answered all 5 questions. And that actually brings our Top Employers Connect webinar to an end. And I'd like to thank everyone for attending. We greatly appreciate your participation, and we hope you enjoyed the session and derived great value from it. And as always, we are eager to know more about your overall impression and experience of today's session. So once this webinar has ended, you will immediately be directed to a survey. Please take 2 minutes to complete it and share your valuable feedback with us. One thing I will say is that Dwayne has definitely given us practical strategies and actionable HR insights that can be implemented in our own organizations to make learning more accessible to anyone, anywhere, at any time. I know I'm missing 2 A's, but I just thought I'd use the 3. I would love to give a huge thanks of appreciation to Dwayne on behalf of us all. We really appreciate your time, your willingness to share, and of course, the very important role that you're playing as an HR executive in creating a better world of work, which is absolutely priceless. So thank you, Dwayne. We are very grateful.
Thank you. Thanks for having us, and thanks everyone for dialing in.
Thank you. And then just lastly, I'd also like to thank some of my wonderful colleagues, Regional Marketing Manager Sadiq Samodin, Dr. Lissa Hankashi, Regional Certification Manager for Asia, and Global HR Auditor Sandra Boert, who actually works quite closely with TCS on a global level. We also appreciate your work in putting this content together. Pleasure to work with you as always. And of course, to the lovely Grace. Dwayne, I know that she's a colleague that's also...
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah.
put some work into this. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
To the delegates, if you aren't already, please follow us on LinkedIn for other upcoming webinars that we'll be hosting throughout 2023. And of course, other interesting top employers content that we share on a regular basis. So thanks for a great webinar. We look forward to seeing you soon. Take care and goodbye for now.
Bye, everyone. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, Gwen.